So when most people ask you a question, they're not expecting a yes or a no, unless they say this is a yes or no question, me. But for the most part, they're not asking if it's a yes or a no. They're asking about the story. And I think that that's a really important thing because the story is what makes a simple question so amazing. And that's what this video was about. It's not meant to be a hurrah. It's not meant to be a yeah, or rah, whatever you want to call it. This is a video about what it took for myself and my wife and my family to meet, understand each other, and then eventually choose a pretty incredible path. And that path was something that, as my niece would say, was absolutely crazy, and I can't believe you guys did it, and that was purchasing a home internationally. It was something that I wasn't expecting. It was something that my wife was absolutely expecting, but it was a journey that took us from 2008 until the beginning of 2020, and we're still working with it now. So what I present to you today is a video about everything that I've discussed in every YouTube video that I've had thus far, for the most part, and an explanation as to why. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Alexander Howell. Please feel free to visit me at alexanderhowell.com and send me a direct email at alexander@alexanderhowell.com. And you can obviously find me on social media pretty much everywhere at Alexander from KC, and that's Instagram, which is my main thing, Twitter, which is my ranting page, and twitch.tv and all that kind of stuff. And if you do want to interact with me professionally, please feel free to visit me at Alexander L. Howell on LinkedIn. You'll find me there as well. And if you want a direct link to exactly who I am at my core, please feel free to text me 816-727-7740, 816-727-7740. That is my direct text line. The first message is normally automated, and everything after that is direct from me. 816-727-7740. This video today is about the journey from 2008 until basically now. What we were thinking about, what we wanted, but the number one thing was why my wife and I decided as a family, as a core and as a unit, to purchase in Mexico and change our lives forever. I hope you enjoy. So the journey really goes back to my wife and I when we first met, and I'm not going to give you the long and short of it. What I'll basically say is we met how every perfect couple meets, and that was in a bar in downtown Kansas City. Not going to lie to you, that's exactly what happened. But there we are, we meet, and there's love and every other thing. But we end up talking a lot over the phone. I was in college, she was in her career at that point, and we just got to talk a ton. And it was really an amazing experience because I got to hear so much about her and she got to learn so much about me. And so every single time that we'd actually have a chance to get together, we felt like we knew each other better and better. And one of the things that I realized was this person loves traveling. And I knew that even more when she decided, like, okay, let's invite not just me, but my mom and dad with her mom and stepdad and her brother and sister to Costa Rica. And so a few months after we met, we ended up going to Costa Rica with the entire family. And it was to Capos, if you want to look that up, and Manuel Antonio, a beach town. For those of you who know Merida and Progreso, probably sounding a little bit familiar. But so we do that. That was my first time I'd ever been out of the country, and there was no questions asked. The woman of my dreams was the one who introduced me to international travel, and I was hooked. So we went to Mexico several times. We went to all throughout the United States several times. Went to Italy again with my parents and her mom and stepdad, and it was just absolutely amazing. And this was all during our dating, engagement, and eventually marriage, which we also got married in Mexico. And during that period of time, we had continued to talk about the fact that she wanted to own real estate in Mexico. She wanted to buy a house down there, potentially move down there. And I've got to say, I'd never thought about it in my life at that point. Once the idea was introduced to me, I was hooked. So once she said it, we started looking at places. And one of the places that I fell in love with, and she did too, so it was kind of this mutual it was really mutual experience was we went to Isla Mujeres outside of Cancun. It's this 3-mile island. I like that. But it's a 3-mile island just off the coast of Cancun, and it has a beautiful downtown space. And then there's this nice, interesting, like almost fish hook roadway that goes down the east side of the coast, and there's these beautiful lots. Now it eventually goes to an iguana park in the easternmost point of Mexico, and then hooks around to a couple of just nice housing lots and restaurants and stuff like that. But during that first East Coast piece, we just thought that would be a beautiful place to build, and we fell in love with it. And the lots at the time were not the most expensive things in the world. We thought maybe we could make this work. But as time went by, we started thinking about, our savings and our future plans, and then eventually about starting a family. And as we started growing within ourselves and in our household, those houses and lots started getting more and more expensive. And as much as we loved the area, we couldn't make it make sense anymore. And that's fine. And we're happy for all of those people who have those places, because they've probably seen some good prosperity there. But it just wasn't for us anymore as much as we loved it. So, and as we started growing our family and just enjoying our time here and buying lake houses at Lake of the Ozarks and fixing those up and renovating homes and all of these different things, it wasn't that we ever thought that dream was gone. We simply thought it was on hold, which obviously for anybody who's subscribed to this channel, they know it was. So several years later, we've been to Mexico several times. And again, we've been to Italy. We've been all over the US. We found all kinds of different places that we enjoy and love visiting, but we hadn't necessarily been to the place where we thought we'd end up in retirement, or that we might even be there for quite some time now, until we realized that our oldest son was going to turn 5 that next July in 2020. So we ended up in an interesting situation, because my son was right on the edge of going into kindergarten, but he was literally on the edge. He was born in July. The border was August 1st. So we talked to a lot of different people. In the end, especially with the pandemic going on, we decided that we were going to hold him out for 1 year and figure that wasn't going to hurt. And everybody that we talked to said that was pretty sound. Like they were all positive on keeping him out for a year. I think it was the right decision, but tough parenting thing. But at the time, he was doing really well, as he still would continue to do. But at the time, we thought this might kind of be our last year, and this was pre-pandemic, so let's plan this. So at the end of 2019, we ended up deciding to book a trip abroad. Mexico actually wasn't our first place. We were thinking about going in different directions. We ended up deciding on Mexico because we found out about this interesting city that my wife had heard of, but I hadn't, and neither of us knew much about it, and that was Merida. But the more we looked into it, the more we just absolutely fell in love with it, to the point where when we went down, all of the memories of Isla Mujeres and the conversations about having a home in Mexico really came back. And what we ended up deciding was, this appears to be a place that we could be for a long time. And so if we're going to take a sabbatical for a month, let's go ahead and be there. So that's what we did. End of 2019, we booked the trip, talked to the guy who owned the beach house that we stayed in. We actually didn't stay in Merida proper. We stayed in Guaymatún, which is a beach town about 30 minutes north of Merida. And that's where we went. And we loved it. We loved the beach. We loved the township. We loved the main beach town of Progreso. We liked the smaller beach towns of Chicxulub and Chalem and Telchac Puerto. But we kept going back to Merida. And the more that we looked around the house, and I've said this in several videos, the more that we looked around the house in Guaymatún, we realized there's so much maintenance to be done. And the more we went to Merida, we realized there's so much there and so much culture and so much beauty. We've got to look there. So we contacted a realtor. 14 days in, we're seeing houses, I should say. 17 days in, I think. I could be wrong about that. Go back to the other videos, prove me wrong. But anyway, and we ended up buying a house. We put a down payment while we were down there. We signed all the paperwork and we purchased. And that was our journey. And we're still on it. And it's one of my favorite things in the entire world is that we continue to be on this journey, because in 2008, when I met my wife, we had all these amazing conversations, all these amazing experiences, and we talked about our future plans. One of those future plans, once we had both been to Mexico at the same time, was we have to be down here. There has to be a way to do it. And we thought we were going to be on this side in Quintana Roo, in Isla Mujeres, and we ended up in Yucatan, in Merida. So many different experiences, thinking we're going to be on the water on an island in Mexico to now we're in a colonial town. And we couldn't be happier. What I wish for anybody who's watching this video, what I would hope for all of you is that no matter what your journey entails, no matter where you go or what you've done or who you've been, any of that, is that if you have a dream of doing something, understand that that journey is going to ebb and flow, go up and down. But if you hold to it tight enough, you believe in it long enough, and you really push towards it, something is going to align properly and it's going to work out. And in our particular situation, throughout all of the ups and downs of everything that can go on in life in general, we ended up in the country we thought we would. We ended up on the peninsula we thought we would. But not in the same way. So I wish you all the best. And as my favorite show and book series would say, I wish you good fortune in the wars to come. Game of Thrones, baby. So I don't know if that video was helpful, but I hope it was inspirational, at least to a little bit, because I've got to tell you, the journey that we've been on has been extraordinary, and it's been up and down. And again, I just can't tell you how many times we've looked around and thought, oh, we want to do this, and then something occurs and we move on. You know, our lake house, I really hope that if you guys want me to do a video about our lake house, by the way, let me know. It's at Lake of the Ozarks in Missouri. I don't know if that's something that YouTube really loves or that somebody that watches this video does, but I'd love to tell you about the journey about that place too, even though it's a little bit different. But every single time that my wife and I have thought this is the perfect opportunity, it's been stopped. And then something else has come out of the right side. I think that's the right side for you guys. Hello. Anyway, but it's come out of a different side and we've adjusted to it and it's become far better than we ever could have imagined. And I wish that for all of you. So thank you so much for watching this video. All of you, my name is Alexander Howell. Please feel free to visit my website, alexanderhowell.com, or email me direct, alexander@alexanderhowell.com. You can follow me on social media, as you probably well know. Instagram is my main form of social media. At Alexander from KC, though, is where you can follow me anywhere at Alexander from KC. Feel free to text me. Most direct method, 816-727-7740, 816-727-7740. And just thank you so much for watching these videos. And if you would please like and subscribe to the channel, hit the little notification bell. That'll let you know anytime that I go live or one of these videos goes live. You'll be the first person to see it. And comment down below if you have any questions, any comments. I'm always here to answer them or respond to positive and negative. All is welcome here. So again, thank you. My name is Alexander Howell, and as always, peace.